Hello, everybody, and welcome to your broadcast day with Phrasing with Jay. Today, I have my former director and fellow actor, Joseph Arnott.
Good.
Did I say it right?
Yep, spot on.
Excellent. I fucking said it right. And he was my director on the Turned, quote-unquote, Lab Cleaners. And that was one short in a two-part, in two shorts?
Two at the moment, yeah.
Two at the moment, because I remember you were doing four, you said four at one time.
Yeah, originally four. The third one, which is sort of set in a school, we're still having a bit of trouble reworking and things like that. But the fourth one, I'm meeting with the script writer next week or the week after when she comes back from holiday.
Okay, so that's cool.
Yeah, so read through that and then we'll cast that and start.
I gotta be in it. Oh wait, no, I'm already established. I can't be. Wouldn't that break continuity?
Possibly. I'm sure we could find you a.
I got it. I got a cameo in it. Now, for people who don't know, Joseph is a actor. He's a director. He's currently directing with his theater group. And dude, I think the biggest question I have for you is like all other actors, we all get into acting differently. Like, how did acting find you?
It was. I was in primary school, but I was quite a sort of shy, child, really, I guess. And I was given a part as Theseus in Midsummer Night's Dream, like the king. So it wasn't a very big role or anything, but I found it and I absolutely loved it. So from then on, it was a case of, what can I get involved with? So as soon as I went to secondary school, I love drama anyway. But my friend was part of a local theatre group, which is the one I'm helping out with now. And so it started there doing acting classes on Monday nights, and then I was like, I really quite like this actually. So then I did the academy on Saturday mornings, which was like an hour of acting, hour of singing, hour of dance, and then from there I was like, I want to keep going with this. So I then joined the youth theatre as well. So I was, and I did that from would have been 13 up until I went to university. So up until I was 18, 19.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So you've had a long run in this.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I've done it for age, and then doing it in school as well. So I did it for my GCSEs. I did drama and music. College I did drama and performing arts, which were so performing arts was the performing side of it, and then drama was all the theory and learning about the different techniques and different practitioners and stuff.
Oh shit, there's techniques. Oh god.
There is, but I
didn't learn any of this shit.
you act in some way, and someone out there will be like, oh yeah, he's using this technique, and you're like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing. How many times have you had to just, I don't know what it is about actors, but we have to lie a lot. And I'm not talking when we're memorizing lines. It's just, hey, can you do this? Yeah, sure. Done it all my life. Can you ride a motorcycle? Yeah, done it all my life. Get the set. Actually, I'm gonna die if I hit this accelerator. Can y'all give me some lessons? Help a guy out here. So you started in theater, obviously. Now, that is a whole different skill set comparably to on-screen acting. And I was talking to some of the other people who came in to help.
Yeah.
I think it was second day for you guys.
Yeah.
First day for me.
Yeah.
And we had the kids there, which I remember you made this big announcement. It's like, hey, keep it clean. There's kids present. And I'm like, all right. And then it didn't help that there was a sperm incident on the chalkboard.
Yeah.
And then there's, I'll post a picture of it too, that there was a sperm incident written there and a photo. I took a photo and there's a number date. I don't remember what the number was. And then there's just a drawing of a little sperm. And I'm going, this man just cut this whole thing, this whole promo on, we got to keep it clean around the children, and now there's just sperm everywhere. All right, that's fine. Shit. But the thing that I think about most is I did drama a little bit. I did a little theater, but I didn't have the formal teaching like you did in that set of instruction. I came to acting in a very different way. Now, how do you go from theater acting to where on-screen acting becomes a possibility, to where that enters your mind as something you want to do?
For me, it sort of came by accident. Really, we were doing one of the shows, and someone got in touch with. This is when I was at like Crash Wallop as a student there, and one of them came to the company and said, "Oh, we're doing some like short films and adverts and stuff." One of them was for the NSPCC, and another one was for to be sent out to like schools and stuff as like an anti-bullying and anti-radicalization type advert thing.
Yeah.
And they got in touch with us, and a group of us went along and did it, and it was a case of being there, and then the director was sort of like, "You do musical theatre, don't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You show emotion really well on screen." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Okay." Okay, right, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. And he was like, "Yeah, it's just not what we would have expected from someone who's musical theatre, because obviously it's in a theatre. It's, you know, you're a good like 20, 30 meters from the front row of the audience, so you have to
project,
be super be super expressive. Whereas if you did that on like film or recording, it would look."
It comes off fake.
Yeah.
It comes off like you're like bad acting. It comes off.
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
And that's the thing I wanted to touch on, considering I had somebody who had real theater experience here. It was one of those things where I always wondered, how far do you really have to project when you're doing theater acting? Because it's vastly different. You know, when we were filming, you have tight camera shots, and the biggest thing is know your lines and not look in the damn camera.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
That's pretty much it. But theater, you have to know your positioning a lot differently. From my limited experience, I understood that, okay, if I stand a certain way, I could be cutting off part of the view for the audience member on the far left or the far right side of the amphitheater or the theater. So you have to position yourself differently. And it's just one of those things where I go back to the original question of how far do you really have to project? Like, what do they teach you? Is it to the back of the fucking room?
It's a case of like thinking about I always say it as thinking about like the old lady that's sat on the back row.
Oh.
That can't hear very well, and that's who you're like aiming to like play towards.
Okay.
Just because you get, and it happens all the time. You get on a stage, and even people who've done it for years and years, and even when I get on the stage sometimes and things, and you start doing a show, and you just sort of like, you might lose it a bit, or you might not be, pushing it as far as you should be. So it's just something that happens to everyone. But it's that case of like reminding yourself that's who you're aiming for. Of course, is the old lady at the back row.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But yeah, it's a whole, like you said, it's a whole new world really, and I suppose me going from the stage side of stuff and directing and helping direct and produce stage things, going from that to then short film stuff, it was a completely different thought process for everything, like blocking the scenes and the camera angles and stuff. Because like you said, it on stage, if we could be stood here, like, and the audience is there. If I take a step forward, like you said, I'm blocking you from half the audience. So it's constantly thinking about where you are, where the audience is, where the other person is that you're playing with, and then also remembering your lines and songs, or like there's so many things going on, and it's one of those things. Me coming back from that and helping to like direct the shows and things. I mean, we've got students there that are like from maybe like 7, 8, all the way up to 19.
Holy shit!
And and the quality of, I'm not just saying this because I'm biased, but the quality of,
you might be a little biased,
maybe a little bit, yeah. But the quality of shows they do is incredible, and it goes for the whole region really. Like there are so many youth theatre groups and stuff that have such talented like kids and members and stuff around.
Of course.
To be able to juggle all that and then perform to the standard they do is unreal.
Speaking of juggling, something you just mentioned was the line memorization. Okay. It's one thing where you have to remember your scene. If you're doing on-screen acting, you have to remember a certain amount of scenes that day or whatever you're shooting. So you should have the whole script in my brain. I'd like to have the whole script as much memorized as I can, so I know the beats of what's going on.
Yeah.
But then you have to memorize those specific scenes for your film day. Now that's for on-screen. That's for films and movies and TV and whatever. In theater, you got to know everything.
Oh yeah.
And it's not like a joke. It's not an exaggeration. I don't know how you motherfuckers do that. I have no idea, because it's just, you have to have the whole script in your head. Then you got to think about blocking. Then you got to think about your projection. And then you got to think about playing off your other actors and emoting to the way they need to do it. It's just like, how does that, I know that doesn't happen overnight. Is there something that you learned over time to allow you to get these big scripts memorized to where you can memorize the whole production? I imagine rehearsal plays a part.
Lots of people have different methods
Of course.
for learning stuff, really. There's like the method that I found for me was just simply rehearsing.
Okay.
Like I'm a very hands-on, practical person in terms of doing stuff, so I learn by doing.
Okay.
So the more rehearsals we got through and the more times we just went over scenes and just did it over and over again, the more it stuck in for me.
Okay.
Whereas there were some people when I was at university, which was really frustrating, that would just sit down, they would write out a scene once or twice in a notebook, and then they would have the lines memorized.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't like you. Like, like, how can you do that? And I get it's other people, like.
It's like, you're an awesome, like, you have amazing memory. I hate you for being talented. I'll still work with you. I still love you, but fuck you for being so good. I get that.
Yeah.
Because I'll write, when I was preparing for the Turned for Lab Cleaners, I would write out the scenes that I was in. And you rehearse them or whatever. And after about, I don't know, 7-8 times, I would get the basis of what it was before, you have to reference back at the script and go like, oh yeah, I can't even think of my lines now. I can't even think of my lines now. Well, yeah, that one, there's a positive transfer here, and now it's gone. And then I'd be like, fuck, what was that other part? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to walk around angry. Shit. Okay. And you're right. It is very different when you go from what I imagine, from having scenes to going into having to rehearse, and having your lines memorized to where you can do a whole full production. Because these things last last an hour and a half.
Crazy.
2 hours?
I was going to say that the average musical is like 2 hours is short for a musical.
Wow, you're fucking really? Yeah. 2 hours is short.
So the one of the shortest ones I've done was Joseph and the Amazing Technical Dreamcoat, and that was I was lucky enough to play Joseph in that, so I was Joseph playing Joseph in Joseph, God. Which was great.
Awesome.
It was so cool.
That's super meta. I appreciate this.
And it was my favorite. It was my favorite part to play because I was obsessed with the musical.
Good.
But that is known for being like one of the shortest musicals, and it's an hour and 58 minutes long.
Okay, but like just I gotta wrap my head around the fact that it's an hour and 58 minutes. It took me weeks to just in the small role that I had over in Lab Cleaners and Turned. I had to figure out this backstory that I wanted to give the captain and all these little character details that nobody else knows except me. It's all in my head.
Yeah.
Just to give the character. And I'm on, and I think it was 2 days? 3 days?
3 days.
3 days of filming. Okay, that's for 3 days of filming. How in the absolute shit do you go like from that to having to have all these scenes memorized, plus you're the lead, and it's an hour and 58 minutes. And not only are you acting, you're also singing. There's also choreography you got to remember. Like I don't know. You can't put me in that situation. I would knock over a co-star. I would get one pregnant. I would fuck up in some shape or fashion. I just know how do you do it? Is it through? Obviously, it's through rehearsal, like you said, and it's through reading the script and getting the beats down. But is it? I imagine is it just through experience or just keep going, like keep doing more.
I think so. I think it's the more, like you said, I think it's the more that you do, the more your brain just becomes able to accept what you're throwing at it. Basically, yes. Like yes. the first show that I did was for the Academy, and it was a musical that we were doing. It's called Shake, Ripple and Roll.
Okay.
And it's about an ice cream parlor, and you've got a detective that comes in. There's a murder that happens. It's great.
There's a murder at an ice cream parlor. Yeah. What the shit, man? This place is popping.
It's great. And I played the detective. And we'd rehearsed for ages. I was really excited. I was really looking forward to it. I had my own little song and things that when he enters, he does a little song to introduce himself to everyone.
Okay, that's awesome.
And as soon as the music started, everything was gone.
Oh,
the
shit.
The words, the tune, everything.
So what'd you do?
I just stood there. It was because it was my. And
I stood there.
And I spoke. This is where experience comes into it, because that was my first proper show. I guess we'd done little ones before, which had been like plays and stuff. So we did Fawlty Towers. We did.
I've heard of Fawlty Towers. That's the one where the guy owns the hotel.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I remember Fawlty Towers.
We did things like that, and I absolutely loved them. But that was my first musical show. So I just stood there, and then the director Dan was sat in the lighting box at the back, and he had a speaker, a microphone even. So he was trying to sing along the bits of the song with me to try and help me to remember. But I was just stood there I have no idea. It all went completely. Yeah. And the song finished, and I was like, oh, I know the words now, and I know my lines. And I was fine for the other shows that we did after that, but it was
right.
It was crazy. And I think it was just a mixture of.
Did you overthink
pressure and yeah, probably. And I was just really excited to do it.
I get it.
That I think I just got excited. I was nervous. I overthought it, and then it just went. But
of course.
But yeah, after that was fine. But it's just experience. It's about managing nerves more than anything.
I think that's a really good point you bring up. When I first started doing any type of movie or whatever, it was nerves. There was this weird feeling where I got overly nervous, and I don't know how I got over it, because I don't know if you're the same, but I still get a little bit nervous before the camera okay, and this will probably explain, I'll get into this later, but this explains why I dance so much and why I look at the camera like an idiot and why I cheeseball every second I get when we're not filming a scene, because it relaxes me. And does it still happen to you? Because you don't only direct, you also act. Like, you're an actor, so, first and foremost. Like, does that still happen to you? Do you still get the nerves before you do a take or any of that type of thing?
Yeah, of course. I think I don't think you will ever lose that sort of nervousness, because
I think it's good.
Well, I fully agree. The way I explain it is, and students and things ask me all the time if like you said, if I still get nervous and things after I've done however many shows or whatever I've done, but I think the moment you lose that nervousness, you've lost something. And whether it's you're nervous because you're nervous because you care. So for me, if I don't think it would, but if it ever got to the stage where I lost that nervousness before a show or before a take or anything, I would sort of have to look and go, well, why am I not nervous anymore?
I understand that.
Like doing Joseph, for example, it was something that I'd watched every single weekend.
That's a lot.
I was obsessed with it. I loved it so much. So when I heard about the auditions and things, I went and auditioned, and the first rehearsal, they came and gave me a script, and I was like, I'm not being funny. I don't need it.
Okay.
Because I've watched this musical so many times. I know everything in this show.
Okay.
And even then, when I still knew everything, in terms of song words and things like that, I was still nervous about doing it, even though I knew the lines completely, because I cared about doing it, and I cared about not letting the other performers down, and obviously the audiences as well, because they come for they pay however much they do, and they expect
They expect something
yeah,
something to be made. They expect people to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's what they're paying for, to be entertained.
I think it's slightly different between sort of theatre and when we were doing the filming and stuff, because at least with the filming, I knew what I wanted, and I knew what I sort of wanted it to look like, but it was strange because there wasn't the pressure of having to get it right the first time, which there is in theatre.
Yeah, theatre is one shot.
Yeah.
You got one shot. There's no, if you screw up, you just kind of, I've talked to other actors who have had theater experience, and a lot of them go, if you screw up, you have to roll with it. You can't, the worst thing you can do is just kind of freeze and go, what do I do? You have to make a joke about it or just stumble through to the next part, and then the flow of the play or the theater production will continue. And you're very right, to your point. It's very different in movies. Like, how many times did I missed one line because in the scene where I'm supposed to be screaming at the crew, because I was so focused on giving you the rage moment. And I skipped I did it twice. And obviously, if I'm working, when I was working with you, it's like, be professional, of course, just go back, reset. But in my mind, I'm like, motherfucker, you know this line. Stop glossing it over. Stop it. But it's totally different. It is different because film settings, movies are a little more intimate because you have things like takes in between setup, or you could, I'm sure you've ran into this one time or another throughout acting on screen. You do the scene and it's great, but then director goes, cut, we got to do it again. Why? Arbitration's important. Always ask. And they go, there's a problem with the lighting, or there's a problem with sound, and then there's like 20 minutes in between setting up again. So the pressure's different. It is like theater. If I'm facing the crowd and I just go, hello, my name is, and it's gone. Everybody just saw that. There's no cut. No. Take it back. Go look back at the script and go, what was my fucking line? God damn. How did I forget that? It's none of that. So I can imagine that freeze moment that you had, even though you knew everything. You're right. It is because you want things to be done the right way. You don't want to let your cast and crew down, and you want to make sure it goes off right. And I get that. It's a totally different level of pressure. Now, interestingly, I sent out an email to a theater production that's doing a play, because I'm going, okay, well, like every actor, and I think you understand this, obviously, probably better than I do, go for the roles that scare you. Go for the shit that scares you. And this goes out to every actor who might want to be an actor, or people who are new or intermediate or just picking shit that they can get. Go after shit that scares you, because that'll improve you. You'll get better. And the reason I went for it is because it was a theater production. Because I don't know how the fuck I'm going to do that. And the risk of fucking up is really, really likely, especially when you're not confident in that area. But I was kind of the mind, if I don't do it, I'd regret it. If I didn't audition for it or I didn't try, I would just kind of look at myself and go, why didn't you try? You might as well try. So like going from theater as actually just being influenced by acting and stuff like that at a very, very young age, even younger than I did. I came to acting very late in life. It's only been, 10 years? That's not a long time by comparison, considering I started in my 20s. Versus you, who started as a youth, man. You were a youth. You were a baby having aspirations of this. Here's a question I've been starting to ask other actors and creative people throughout the industry about this. It's like, even if you don't get Netflix famous, or you get on that A-list celebrity chain, do you even care? Or is it just something that's a part of you that you wouldn't want to give up? We all want to be famous, I know.
Well,
we all want. We all want it.
If people are offering and want to make me, then I'm not going to complain. But no, it's. People that know me because it's something that I'm just passionate about,
Mm-hmm.
and it's whether things come of whatever I do or not, whether the pilot for the turn gets picked up or not, it's still been like amazing to be able to get to that stage and get my ideas out there and bring people together, which is what I'm more sort of focused on, really.
Okay.
Like I love performing, I love being characters, I love transporting the audience and your other castmates to different locations, and you being different people and different characters and stuff. And I think it's great. I think it's good for not only you but the audience. I think it's fantastic for I think looking at sort of mental health and things like that. I think there's so many benefits for theatre, and not only as a way of getting famous or not getting famous, but the communal aspect of it, the confidence that it gives like everyone.
That's right, because when you were talking about this earlier on, it was you weren't the most confident kid growing up, and this was a big way to help you through that. Yeah. And
now I'm more than happy to email random people and ask them to be in a short film.
Yes, but I mean that's a thing, though. I mean, there's people who struggle with the simplest things. It's simple to us, but I mean, you came from a place in life to where that something like that was probably overwhelming for you, and now you're just like, nah. You want to be in my movie, bro? You don't got to suck anybody's dick. I swear, this is clean. You're good. You're good. It's not a casting couch. Although, if you really want to be in the movie, that's not. That is a weird side of acting. That is a weird side of acting. Like I've unfortunately met people who were in the lower end of independent films I can't say names because that would be terrible for these poor people, but like, dude, like some of these people get roped into some weird shit. It's really true, but that's a whole different thing for that's a solo show. I won't like force anybody to listen to that right now. But you talked about a communal aspect, and that's a really big thing. I think what I've noticed in working with other actors and stuff like that is like once it's like it's not like a clique or anything like that. It's like a small family in a way. Now that like I know Ian, I know Alex, I know you, I know everybody else who's worked on like Joe and Chris and all these people. I'm always gonna fucking support them in anything that they do. I just want what's best for them. I want their careers to go well. I want their personal lives to go well, and I genuinely am I get excited about stuff they post on Instagram or anything like that, or future projects. Not only the stuff that I've been a part of, but I mean, if I see you post something, that you've written, and that even if I'm not in it, it's like, nah, man, fucking go, Joe, go get that shit. Go do it. and that's a big thing. I think it's very important. I think it's something that a lot of people might not even think about as something that happens when you go into this really weird world of playing pretend and lying all day. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Right? It's just the truth. We're professional liars. I don't know where I heard this, but I repeat it to this day. I go, actors should not date anybody else but another actor or somebody in this industry, because we never tell the truth. We can cry in command. You never know when we're lying. You just don't know. You just don't fucking know. But oh god, what was that question I had? Oh yeah, okay. When I was auditioning, and then I got the part for the captain in Lab Cleaners, and something that you said to me really caught my attention, and I'm really glad you're here because I could finally ask you about it when you don't have 50 other million things to do and you're holding your head in your hands and going, that fucking stupid little mask box is getting on my nerves. It's like, is it going to work in continuity? I don't care. It's my film. I'm going to fucking move it. Like, it's one of those things where I'm wondering, you wanted to build something in the Northeast pertaining to more productions and people making films and movies. And I know the Northeast has a studio, but that's one. And I don't see a lot of people in the Northeast taking the time to make movies, to do this, to give actors other opportunities and other platforms to well, I mean, we're all building our show reel.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just to take opportunities to act and to be involved. And this is it's like a desert of an area for acting. So how did that idea come up to you anyway? Like, was this something that naturally occurred over time, or was this like a goal that you set out early on?
I've always been very proud of like my area. And
okay.
Being involved with, you know, when I was younger in different theatre groups, you know, I was part of. There was a stage where I was part of like 4 different theatre groups, like all at the same time.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
Which was
one's a lot. 4.
Which was sort of a bit strange for that time, because people were like, well, you're like doing a show with us and then you're doing a show with a different company who so there's these things called NODA awards, and they're National Operatic and Dramatic Association awards, and you know, groups can sort of contact them and choose to be a part of it or not, and then every year they send out nominations for, you know, like Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best, and they have a youth category and they have an adult category. And it was one of those things that, you know, lots of groups want to be considered for, because it's you having your, you know, performance acknowledged and, you know, having it recognised as something, and they have a big like awards ceremony and things.
I mean, that's a big deal for all actors and performers. We all want to be recognised from our work.
We all want praise.
Yeah, we all. There's a reason we're actors. Something about us goes, I want strangers to love me. Right? Let's do it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And so it was a case at the time I was part of like 4 different groups that were all competing for like the same district's nominations, basically. So a lot of them were like, well, like, you're working with us and you're working with what's basically the enemy. And I was like, well, I don't care.
Enemy?
Like, I just want to be people at the...
Are theatre groups that cliquey?
Some people at the time...
It's not like gangs.
Were. It felt like that time.
Jesus. You floating in between all the sets and people are just going like, what's he doing over there with them?
But I made it perfectly clear that I wasn't part of any group in particular. I was there because I wanted to perform and I wanted to be part of productions. I wasn't there to be part of a group necessarily.
I get that.
And so I've been fortunate enough to be all over the Northeast and things like that. So it's
beautiful.
So it was always a thing when the idea came into my head. It was always that I wanted to use the Northeast and use the people that I've either connected with before or people that I've heard about through the grapevine and speaking to other people, because I know that there's so much talent in the area, and it's like you said, there's one main sort of film like studio, I guess.
There's only one.
No, there's another one being built in Hartlepool.
I heard about that.
Soon.
It's not done. It's not constructed yet, but I'm aware it's still being constructed, which is great. You know, that's great.
It's really good, and it's nice that the person that's founded it has chosen to do it up here. And he said for reasons where he wants to bring, you know, he wants to bring a bit more interest back to the Northeast. Yeah, which I think is fantastic. So yeah, it was always a thing for me that I wanted to use local people. And there was a few of the people that I've spoken to and I've sort of worked a little bit with. So Andy Winwood, who wrote the scripts for Positive Transfer and Lab Cleaners. I know he does lots of short films and he's really passionate about it. And then from him, I discovered a group called In the Frame Northeast.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, and they bring a lot of different creatives together. They have like sort of what they call like networking sessions once a month and things that they
That's
do.
how I heard about them.
They do different places. Yeah. And I went up and I sort of spoke to them and I said, because this was in the stages where we had the scripts nearly wrote and I was sort of panicking because I was like, I know lots of actors. I don't know much about the tech and the crew side of stuff, so So I approached them and I sort of said, do you produce any sort of short films, or do you know of people? And there was a lovely lady, Alice, who was sort of helping me with like the paperwork side of things and all the official documents and the boring stuff that you have to do, basically.
Yes.
And they were a massive help. They were really encouraging, actually. And they've started doing community films as well. So like just this year, they've started doing their first one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is really cool. And they've said that it's something they want to keep doing because it's they've helped the group or the people that have wrote it. They've helped them gain a proper budget for it through like donations and crowdfunding and things. They've been filming the past week or so.
That's amazing.
But it looks incredible what they're doing.
It's amazing, man.
And I think more people just need to. Like, I found out about it through talking to Andy, but I sat at my computer and I just Googled local filmmakers, and there's quite a few that come up on Google and things, and they might be the sort of level where it's someone who's just passionate about it and they have a camera, they can do the editing and stuff, up to things that are a bit more sort of upscale and stuff like that. So I think anyone that's interested, it's just a case of like just doing a bit of research, really, and then not being afraid to
reach out.
Just contact people. Like the worst thing someone can say is no. And
then what? You're back to square one.
Well, yeah.
So nothing lost.
And then you just try again. Like you're not gonna lose anything from just asking for even just for some advice. The amount of people that I contacted just saying, I'm wanting to do these short films. Do you have any advice on where to go from here? What are the next steps? And the support has been great. And people that have either not been able to support because they don't have the facilities or they don't do that type of thing that I was looking for at the time, were either able to pass me on to someone else or, give me some kind words and things and say, well, we can't help at this stage, but, in the future, if you ever need this, then, get back in touch. So it's just a case of asking. And
I think that's important, though. I think that's an important thing to hear, because I think like all creative people, writers, singers, artists, actors, all these, I think we all, directors, producers, I think we all have things in our mind that we want to make something. Yeah. But just for the example of, oh my fucking God, the paperwork side of things. Holy shit. I've never directed, not really, not on an on-screen capacity. So I mean, Jesus Christ, like, what do I actually need? What do I need to put in front of these fucking actors so if something happens, I don't lose my whole ass? Like what? Like, where do you even go about something like that?
I mean, it's just, and again, the in the frame people have really helped me with all of the document sort of side of things, really, but. Like, it just getting official things down, like a character breakdown sheet that I sent out to people that were interested in auditioning, and then sorting out the audition pieces, how you're going to submit your auditions, stuff like that. Getting a health and safety document done, which I did independently, but then for the place that we were filming, they wanted obviously their own health and safety format to be done as well. So depending on where you're filming, they will probably ask you to do their own anyway. And
nobody licked doors or windows when we were in the lab.
Exactly.
As far as we know.
No. And everything happened. No one's got ill or...
Nope.
Surprisingly, there were no issues.
None.
During the filming days at all. And it got to the last day, and normally something ends up happening. So that last day, I was so on edge constantly, because I was like, we've had no problems for 3 days. Something is going to go wrong at some stage. But it went completely fine.
That was probably one of the smoothest sets I've ever been on, by far.
Wild,
for real. Because I remember from your day 2, my day 1, to me being there for the last day. There was not one issue. There was no issue with another actor. There was no issue with writing. There was no issue with lighting or sound. I mean, we didn't have any of those typical problems you would normally run into. We didn't. I think the worst thing that happened is people needed key cards. to get into the building. That was the only problem. That was literally it. Like, that wasn't even a problem.
No.
It would be in between takes, and I'd be sprinting outside to go smoke a cigarette. I get a text. It's like, Jay, please come back in the building. We need the film. It's like, oh, fuck yeah. Okay, let's go. Let's fucking go. But I mean, speaking of the turned, how? Like, how? How does that even enter your brain? I'm not going to spoil it, but I mean, how? Why? This is why. Cleaning crew.
I had a friend that I did a show reel with, Gary.
Okay.
And not the Gary you know, different Gary. And
cool.
we went and
Gary's cool.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. Everyone was great, but I'll get onto that.
Yeah.
And we did a show reel together, and he told me about a short film that he wanted to make and things like that, and he had a fantastic idea for it. And it was across in Liverpool, so I went across, and it was a sort of, you know, a apocalyptic type storyline. It was that type of thing. So it was really cool. We had the standard sort of prosthetics and things like that. There was nothing, there's nothing abnormal in terms of, you know, general apocalypse stuff. I'm trying to be very careful about what I say, because I know that he's still working on a variation of it at the moment. But that production,
apocalyptic-y.
Yeah.
There you go.
That type of, people can imagine what they want to imagine when I say apocalypse.
I imagine Fallout 4.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Let's go with that.
Raiders. Mad Max.
There's loads of different.
Water famine. Okay, I'm done.
And his production didn't end up going anywhere, which was a shame.
That's unfortunate.
Because there were different, you know, and different things happen. Things, you know, things stop productions from going on, and I sort of spoke to him about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm focusing on other things at the moment." And he's been doing lots of acting work and stuff. He's been out in, I think it was Ibiza. They went to do some filming for something. Yeah, it was.
What the fuck?
It was great. I'm really pleased for him. But I came back, and it was a couple of months later, and I woke up and I had this storyline just in my mind.
It was in your brain.
So I woke up, and I was like, okay. And I was driving to work, because I do teaching stuff as well. So it was I was driving. It was during the stage where I was working like an hour sort of away from home.
Mm-hmm.
And I was driving, and I realised that for the whole journey I hadn't had... Normally I listen to a podcast or music, or I have something. But I sat there in complete silence the whole way, just mulling over this storyline in my head. And I was like, maybe I have to write this down, because it's here. It's there, and it won't leave me alone. So
chasing you.
So in one of my breaks I sat down and I wrote out the sort of the basic idea of what it was going to be about. And then every time I'd either like wake up in the middle of the night with extra bits of like story, or where it could go, or what would happen. And it just sort of...
Oh, this shit was really chasing you.
Yeah. It just sort of...
Following your soul, man.
And normally when I have an idea, like I've started to write a few different books, which I got maybe a couple of chapters in, and then I sort of either got bored of, or I was like, I don't really know where this is going to go from here. So I've just left them. I've wrote a couple of plays and things as well that have been like, one was a comedy set in like a school staff room and things. And like, I've started to write quite a lot of stuff, but I've just ended up losing that interest for it.
Yeah. The inspiration will go.
Yeah. And after a couple of weeks, or like a month or two, it normally disappears. But this really started to continuously be there at the front of my mind. And so I was like, right, okay, I'm gonna go full into this. So I started writing stuff. I started watching like zombie and apocalypse series. I started playing zombie and apocalypse games to try and sort of quench it, and then go, okay, right, let's go on to the next idea now. But nothing would stop it. Like I'm still watching The Walking Dead, because I've got hooked on that now. I went back and I started playing like State of Decay 2. Those
are good games.
Like fantastic games. that I couldn't stop playing. I then started playing the Walking Dead Telltale series.
Okay.
That I'm still obsessed with this like apocalypse thing. It won't leave me alone. And the pilot episode, I keep coming back to it, and the whole storyline that I've got cooking in my mind. And then as I was writing that, I was like, okay, well, it would be nice to, as someone who hasn't filmed or produced any sort of short films before, I thought, right, let's get some like short stories going. And so I started thinking about, while I was still writing parts of the pilot episode, I thought about, well, what could we explore that would be interesting for people to watch, but doesn't directly impact the pilot episode.
Okay.
So the 4 shorts that we've planned, we've got these 2. We had I can't remember what the school one was called now. So the school one, which is sort of still hit and miss at the moment, and then Ember Souls. And
I remember you talking about that on set.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
Yeah, it's
isn't that one closer to like a feature in a way?
Yeah, as
far as time.
Yeah, I've spoken to the writer about it. We've discussed a few different directions to go with it because it's
God.
because I can give you a brief outline of what it's about.
Nope.
So it goes from it goes from this sort of like cast out guy, and he doesn't really fit in with anything. People try and include him in stuff, but he's just sort of a cast out basically. And through different situations and through different things that happen and different conversations that end up happening, he ends up at the end of the series being the leader of this like apocalyptic gang, basically.
Okay.
Sort of like a survivalist type group. So they're preparing for the end of the world. They've heard about this apocalypse that is going to happen, and they're preparing for it. So we see his story from basically nothing to leader. So it was difficult to show that journey for that character in the space of like 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's a lot to show in 10 minutes. You need a lot longer. You need 40 minutes at least.
Yeah, so we've spoken a couple of times, and again when she's back from holiday, we'll look through the scripts properly. But I have a feeling it will probably be a slightly longer one. So like Lab Cleaners and Positive Transfer, we're looking at maybe 10-15 minutes each for those 2. But the Ember Souls, I think we're looking at around half an hour mark.
I mean, it would have to be minimum with all the elements you're just describing. Yeah. It would have to be at least a half an hour. I said 40 minutes because I'm going, you don't want to congest it all into such a short time. Like some of that shit has to breathe. I mean, you're talking about an origin story.
Yeah,
you're talking about an origin and then a rise.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But it's in your brain. I'm pointing to my brain, everybody. It's in your brain, and it's you're working with the writer, and it's got to be put down. And that sounds like something very fruitful in investigating and kind of seeing this character.
Yeah,
that's really incredible, man. Yeah. That really is incredible.
And it's been nice to have that sort of in my mind, and especially now that we've done we filmed the 2 that we have. Obviously, we've got all the editing and the post production stuff for those 2 shorts.
Poor Joe.
I know.
Poor Joe.
I keep messaging him and just throwing things at him, and he's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll get onto it." And he's absolutely fantastic.
For a guy, and Joe, I love you. Sorry, buddy, but for a guy who has the most dry, deadpan, outwardly demeanor, he has a really good sense of humor.
He is. He's
it's incredible, actually.
Yeah.
I remember when I first met him, I shook his hand. I was like, okay, so he's one of those. He's one of those guys. I can't tell if he fucking likes me or despises me, but that's all right. That's all right. He's cool. He's a cool dude, man, and he's really professional.
Yeah,
like he's really professional. He knows what he's doing, and like you put a shitload of trust into the guy.
Oh yeah, I mean it goes for all of them, and I'm pleased that we've come onto it again because it's
of course
like for us to be able to produce what we have
Mhm.
in the space of 4 days, especially.
Oh,
we
shit.
produce filming and getting the logistics around filming 2 short films in 4 days. I looking back, I wish I was a bit nicer to myself and I wasn't so stuck on 4 days. The plan being that we were going to do it over 2 weekends, so
Right.
that was the reasoning for 4 days. When we then were told that weekends for the facility that we were using wouldn't be possible and we'd have to do it during the week, I was still stuck in my mind going, oh no, 4 days are going to be fine. Like, we will be able to do it in 4 days easily. We might even be able to leave slightly earlier on some of the days.
Mhm.
Again, this was me having not produced anything.
Mhm.
And I think those 4 days, they were tight.
I was about to say they were tight. They were tight filming.
But I think that was fine. And I think, if anything, that sort of possibly just helped it flow, because we were all aware of what we needed to do. We were all aware of what we needed to get done
Mhm.
in those 4 days.
Mhm.
And it's sort of where the amount of prep that I did came in quite useful for it.
Absolutely.
So I was in conversations with the places that we did the filming at since like October, November time,
Oh wow.
and we filmed in June.
Yes. Yeah.
So
So you had months.
yeah, it was a lot of time to get stuff prepared.
But but I think that's reflective of why, when it came to filming, when you had actors on set and you had people doing sound and we had our cameraman there, that everything worked and gelled as well as it did. I think the amount of preparation was a benefit to you.
Yeah.
Because when I said this to the other actors, and it was a compliment towards you, and I said I've rarely worked on a set where everything was this organized, and that, you know, you as the project lead and the director knew exactly where we were going, what you wanted, how it needed to be shot. I mean, there was very little conversation in decision making.
Yeah.
If something didn't work how you intended it to work, it's almost like perhaps you accounted for these things already. It's almost as if you thought about these things. How miraculous.
Well, yeah, and it's where prep is really possibly underestimated.
How the fuck? I'm sorry to interject. How the fuck did you fit 2 shorts into that time period and not lose track of scenes and not obviously planning, but like how? Like how? I mean, that's miraculous in its own way. 2 in 1, like, dude, come on.
So for context, in case people aren't aware, the 2 shorts, Positive Transfer is about the scientists during the day doing some experiments,
Sciencey things.
Sciencey things, exactly. And the Lab Cleaners is then the sort of the night shift of them basically resetting the lab,
Yes.
ready for the next day of experiments.
Yes.
Without
Without my cup, without my drink.
Yeah.
Damn you, Arthur.
And yeah, it was tricky. And originally they weren't supposed to be as sort of close and as overlapping as they turned out to be.
Really?
They were supposed to be a bit further apart and separated from each other. But it just happened that as we continued writing it, and Andy can sort of vouch for it as well, but as we kept sort of going back and forth, it just happened that they got closer to each other, and then we found it really interesting to have these two short films that were basically what could be part of one story.
Oh, they are. I mean, the way I look at it, yeah.
Like,
you could play them back to back.
And have those two separated into, you know, and this is where Chris can really came into his own, because it was a case of, I mean, for the whole 4 days of filming, it was a case of me saying, you know, this is how I want it to look. this is how I want it to feel. This is how I want the audience to feel looking at, this shot in particular. And then the rest of them, Chris, Joe, and Demebe would sort of go, yeah, okay, well, we can do this and this would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So to have them three all as sort of on the ball and sharing the vision, I guess, as
everybody shared the vision.
It was fantastic, and it made it so much easier. And I said this to them on the final day of the shoot as well. But having everyone sharing the idea of what I wanted it to look and feel like was so useful.
Absolutely,
because it meant that I could just explain, this is how I want it to feel, and then everyone was on the same page.
Absolutely,
immediately. So we went for a more positive transfer with the scientists. Was very, it was very structured. It was more sort of tripod work because we wanted it to look clean and polished. Whereas with the lab cleaners, you get to see a little bit more of their character, and it's a bit more informal.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a lot more of the handheld stuff and the shoulder rig and the dolly trolley.
That dolly trolley, that Chris got an unhealthy attachment to that thing at a certain point in time.
We really did.
We thought we lost it at one point.
Yeah, we did.
There was one day I got a text message. We all got a text message from you in the WhatsApp chat. Where is the trolley? Mind you, everybody, this was all in capital letters. So he's silently screaming at everybody, going, "Where's the trolley?" Fucking poor Ian hits back. Last I saw it was in the lab. Because I saw that and I went, I don't fucking know where that thing is. I have no idea. I'm not saying shit. I don't know where that thing is. Nah. Good Lord. So I wasn't there for the positive transfer stuff. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that wasn't the day I was filming. Yeah. But I kind of got when Dave and the guy who played David and Lib, who came in on the third day.
Yeah.
Right? When I was acting opposite them, I got a whole different atmosphere. Because one, they're both really good actors. They're very good. Yeah. And I felt like I was going, all right, here's my group that I'm with, whatever. But then I got into that scene where I'm not going to tell people what I did, but I had the scene where I got to enter in a certain way. And there was a moment of the air that hit me, and I'm going, oh my God, I'm acting with the big boys now. Oh shit, all right, I got to be on my best behavior. Got to be nice, got to be cool. It's just there was a different air of what the scientists brought, versus just communicating with the other lab cleaners that I had been filming with, and I could immediately tell the difference. Yeah. And I think that was a combination of just the actors themselves, but also probably a residual effect of what the filming for Positive Transfer was like. Mm-hmm. Because if you're talking a more cleaner, efficient style shooting, it is going to come off a little, not sterile, that's not the word, but you're right, cleaner. So I could see, and that's cool. That's really cool that you mixed both of these, because they exist in the same universe, Positive Transfer and lab cleaners. So to have this like Avengers moment where they all suddenly meet, because I was reading the other scripts and I was like, wait a minute, that sounds like. And I looked at the lab cleaner script. I'm like, wait a minute, that's the same dialogue in this one. I'm like, are we communicating with these people? Like, what the fuck's going on here? I didn't know nothing about this. So it was a nice surprise.
I was going to say that last day of filming, having everyone there, like so from the start, from day one, we had Gary and Libby there, and we started off. Joe, I apologise. We started off with a really nice long one shot, which people will be able to see because it turned out absolutely incredible.
Excellent.
And in the same way that we've got a nice one shot in lab cleaners as well, which took a little bit of time to get right, but they both look really good.
I wonder whose fault and who's responsible for that one. Because I remember that day, the crew and I, when I wasn't dancing into a camera, the cast and crew, we had what we needed, I say in air quotations, within 3 takes. Mm-hmm. But I remember a certain someone just wanted a more technical layout of the situation, and 3 takes turned into 20, and
yeah.
But it was worth it.
It was.
I believe it was worth it, especially really to see you getting everybody, including Georgina and fucking Soph and them holding up the doors. Yeah. Trying to wheel this fucking trolley past them and shit.
Again, everyone was so helpful in terms of like Georgia and Sophie were doing the hair and makeup and things, but they were also, I mean, as well as the other guys that were there.
Oh yeah,
just helping out with anything possible. They were incredible. They were really useful.
I agree with you, man. I think that's something that was I think everybody working on it, from actors to crew, everybody had the same mentality. And to what you were saying a second ago, I think that really helped the overall process of it, because everybody was on the same page, and everybody from when they got there was ready.
Yeah,
we were ready to do what we needed to do to make sure that we got the best final cut we could possibly have. Because I talked to the other actors about it in between takes and things when I wasn't being an idiot and goofing around. Everybody had the same mentality. Everybody had the same mindset of I just want to make sure I do the best I can for everybody working on this, so we can all look back on it and be proud.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's a great mixture for success as far as getting the shots taken. And there was never any time where shit didn't feel like it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Unless it was a prop. And then that usually was remedied. Or Ian getting the fucking zipper stuck on the goddamn the little clean suit, which I thought was hilarious. I thought that was funny. I'm like, how fucking funny. He did an arfer. He pulled an arfer.
He did.
Literally. Speaking of lab cleaners and it turned. Okay, I gotta ask you this, because I have you here. He's not kidnapped. I did not tie him up. Wink, wink, hint, hint, and forced him to answer these questions. I'll give you your pot noodle when you're done filming.
Thank you.
No, what in the absolute shit possessed you to use one of my songs for the fucking turned for the lab cleaners? Because I didn't think I didn't originally think that my music would even mesh with something like that. But when I saw why, I went, oh, okay. So what the fuck actually possessed you to use the song? We're talking about Turn Me Up, by the way.
Yeah.
Go listen on Spotify.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. I love it. It was one of those things that from the start I wanted to use local.
Okay.
Local artists.
Local.
Again, coming back to this whole, using what
communal.
People have created, yeah. And I've been in conversations before with quite a lot of different song makers and songwriters and things that either would let me use their song but paying them quite a bit for it, and I was sort of like, well, we're working off donations and things. It's supposed to be a community project, and then when we got you on board as the captain, I always like to. I don't know. I always like to look at what people have done previously and what they've gone up to. So I listened to a couple of episodes of the podcast.
Now you're on it.
And then I know.
Be careful.
Weird.
Yes.
And then from that, I saw that you did music and stuff. So I was like, I'll give some of the songs a listen. So, and then it just, as quite a lot of my ideas do happen, I just started listening to the music, and then as soon as I heard that start bit, I was just like, it just fits. It just fit. And I don't know how. It's frustrating to describe because there's no. There's no.
When you heard it, and you just realize okay, that's it. That's it. That's the one I'm using.
Yeah,
I know that feeling. You can't describe it.
No.
It's just something that when you know that's the choice, that's the right choice. That's just it.
Yeah.
It was that when it comes to when I made that song, Turn Me Up. I those lyrics came together in literally 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That song took me maybe an hour to write and record. because at that moment it just felt right. And when something feels right, you just got to trust the instinct.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Also, now that I've met Ian and I have a greater understanding of like Arthur the character, yeah. I could see Arthur drinking his energy drink. That fucking energy drink was like battery acid, dude. I never felt so hyper in my life.
Disgusting.
It was terrible.
We did go in there and we were looking at ones that people wouldn't recognize. So we went immediately to like the bottom shelf where the energy drinks were.
Yeah. It had a bomb on it.
And we were just, it did. And we were just looking for anything that wasn't recognizable. So we saw this silver and red can. It had virtually no label on it. There was hardly anything. There was a bomb on the top.
It was a bomb. It was from Holland.
And I was like, you know what? Yeah, go on.
For people who are listening who don't understand this, and I can obviously say this. There's a scene where one of the characters has an energy drink, and this is what Joseph's describing, and I want everybody to know that everybody else treated him like a prop. Okay, they cracked him, and no one drank him. I made the stupid decision to try it. I don't know what brand that was or whatever, but like this weird fucking small red and silver energy drink from Holland that has a bomb on it. Don't drink it. I felt whatever it was. I felt that shit coursing through my veins, and I don't understand. I've never felt that before in my life. That shit was fucked up. But I think I get it. I think I get it now. When it comes to the song Turn Me Up in general. Like, don't get me wrong, it makes sense. And I don't say that to like brag or nothing like that. I can understand from an artist perspective or a creative perspective when something just feels right for that character or for that moment in that film or movie or whatever have you, it just works.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, man.
In the same way that when we were doing like when I was my sort of style and things that I like, and people that I've spoken to about this in terms of script, like the scripts that I've produced and things before, I've been very, and it's possibly because of my theatre past, I guess, but I've always been very music focused.
I get that.
So for both the shorts, we're going to have a song each that sort of has some sort of recurring theme.
Oh, okay.
Throughout.
I like that.
And we're using Paul Bowerbank's song "Hold to Hope" for quite a bit of it as well, and he's done a brilliant acoustic version as well, which
amazing
reappears in Lab Cleaners a little bit.
Oh, okay. I like that.
And people understand why when they watch it, but I've always been a big fan of like using music to tell a story or to like enhance what the audience is seeing. I love in shows and films and games, especially when you get a song come on and it either completely contrasts what you're seeing or it works so well with what you're seeing.
You're right.
Like the origins for the gang leader character, I've wrote the pilot episode.
I'm flexing.
The pilot episode is planned and it's being wrote. Mm-hmm. I've also then planned an additional 6 episodes in the first series.
Holy shit.
In terms of like synopsis and what I want to happen in that first series.
Right.
And then roughly 2 or 3 series after that of what would be the overarching thing to happen. And the way that the gang leader from Ember Souls would be introduced into the series, if or when it becomes a thing. We've established that it's an apocalyptic world.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's gone to like just a chaos, basically.
Everything is fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way I would want him to be introduced is in a very, again, I don't want to say too much, but in a very sterile environment. In an ideal world, I would have I Did It My Way by Frank Sinatra playing.
Good choice.
To completely contrast this apocalyptic world and chaos that's going on, to have this really nice song about being really proud of how you've you know, how you've led your life and things.
You did it on your terms.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But to have that as the gang leader's song, such a positive song, reflecting the horrific things that him and his gang are doing.
Dude, I fucking get it.
Just music was something that I've been very keen on putting in.
But it's important.
Yeah.
Music is...
And especially using local, I mean, obviously not Frank Sinatra's not from the
No,
Northeast.
he's internationally famous.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's not from the Northeast, so that's diverging a little bit from my idea of Northeast based. but in terms of, especially at this stage, using as much.
Of course.
Yeah.
But like, to your point, I think music is important because it's one of those things where something like a song or even a soundscape or part of the background music or whatever may have you, it can enhance something, it can contrast, it can expose a juxtaposition to what's going on within that any given scene, or it can... How many times have people gone on YouTube and just re-listened to a character theme? Because sometimes something as simple as that can explain so much.
Oh yeah.
Versus having to voice it in exposition or have actors spit out dialogue. Sometimes the theme and just the cinematic presentation of it alone can tell you so much about a character.
Yeah. One thing I was told very early on when I started coming up with the storylines and when Andy started writing stuff for me, and it's something that I've learned writing the pilot episode, is that it's a lot of... filmmaking is a lot of show don't tell.
Yes.
In terms of you know, that whole start piece that we have with Arthur, like that is just really simply showing the audience him.
Oh yeah.
And his normal routine.
Ian's awesome.
And then we get the bit of sort of comedic relief at the end, which perfectly sums up.
Oh yeah.
It perfectly sums up the character. And so doing something like that instead of having him talking to someone, like, yeah, it just makes sense. And cinematically, both me and Joe discussed this, and Chris as well. We just like things to look artsy and cinematic, and for it to look appealing.
Oh,
like if we're gonna make
y'all bougie creators, man, I swear.
Like if we're gonna make something, and we're gonna make short films or whatever, and we're gonna do some sort of premiere.
You gotta try things
for both the films as well. I want to sit there with you guys, with the cast and crew and your family and friends and things, and be able to watch it, and for people to go, "Oh, that looks cool." Right. Like it's the whole point for me is obviously getting the storylines across, but making it look appealing and interesting.
But that's part of it. And every filmmaker is different. I mean, you've obviously watched movies in your lifetime, as have I. And people listening here, like, we've all watched movies, and we all have filmmakers that we like and dislike and all this shit. But that's the point. I mean, this is your own way of presenting information to an audience, and just the mindset and the mentality that you, Joe, and Chris had about giving Arthur, Ian, awesome guy, the scenes to have this like little prep thing where he's going through and he's walking by and he's just fucking blasting da 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 da. I also appreciate really quickly how I hope you guys keep this in the final, where he's about to drink out of the energy drink can and he realizes it's empty and he looks at it and he shakes it. This shit was so funny. I had to stop. I had to turn away and not openly laugh because I saw what Ian was doing. I'm like, that motherfucker's funny, bro. Like, that's not even acting. That's just him being silly.
He's great.
He's good, dude.
He was one of the people when I put the casting call out there. He was one of the people that replied, and I saw the name and I thought, surely it's not the same guy. Me and Ian went to university together.
Get the fuck out of here! Really? That's amazing.
To do drama.
That's awesome.
And I never had the chance to work with him when we were at university.
Oh.
And like, I saw his application and I was like, it is the same guy.
I know you.
I was like, yeah, go for it. And then he auditioned and he suited the character perfectly.
Oh, I understand why I didn't get the Arthur role.
And
100%. He fucking killed it.
But and we had so many people audition. We had, I mean, I opened the the sort of interest form, like the Google Doc thing that I sent out to people. I sent it out to different like local filmmaker groups and local actor groups, things like that. And at the end of like a month or so, we had like over 130
Jesus fuck
people
really?
that had just it was unreal.
That's overwhelming.
It was.
Yeah. Did you think you were gonna get that many?
No.
Jesus. That's the first week.
Not in my life. I knew that there were lots of people in the area that wanted to be part of short films.
Sure.
And that there just isn't as much going that people want there to be.
No, most of the acting's in London, Manchester, it's further south. There's not a lot in the Northeast.
Yeah. But I was not expecting that type of response. I was imagining maybe I'd get one or two.
One?
No, like one or two applications for a role.
Sure.
And then I would have to try and
scurry.
Yeah, juggle things around or struggle to find people or beg people to audition for stuff.
That was not the case.
No. And I'm incredibly grateful. Again, I sent out the email after we did before we released the castings and things, thanking everyone for being involved and the people that have been in touch that there wasn't a role that suited them necessarily for these two shorts, but everyone who didn't get a part but said that they would still be interested in coming and helping out or coming and being involved in one of the next shorts and things. Like for Ember Souls, for example, we've got a nice beach party scene. We've got the big gang scene at the very end, which I'm going to need tons of people for. And pretty much everyone...
I'm raising my hand, everybody. If I'm not the gang leader, I'm a gang member. I already look like a bad guy. But no, that's good, though, because you got... Even the people who didn't make it through that particular casting, you still have them in the Rolodex, the proverbial Rolodex, to where you can call upon them. And they've already said, we want to work with you, Joe. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you already got them. So now you're not even going to have a shortage.
It's been very... It was very surreal in that early stage because it was a case of me having those ideas, the scripts being wrote, and me going, right, let's now find some people, not knowing what to expect, and then just a massive flood of people.
A sea of humanity.
Which was fantastic, but like you said, it was overwhelming because it was a lot of people. And it made me really pleased, and it reassured me a lot that, clearly the ideas that I had were appealing to people.
Oh yeah,
and that they were interesting. Because it's one of those things I think as a creative that you always possibly doubt that what you
I get that
think
you
might put out there and people go, well, it's not.
Yeah,
it's nothing exciting.
Yeah,
I mean, but
you're right.
Yeah, to have that response was incredible. But it was a weird sort of bittersweet moment because it was nice to have everyone reach out as they did.
Yeah, but you gotta tell people no.
But it was well,
you gotta tell some. Yeah, quite a few. It's like, sorry, you didn't get it.
Yeah, but it also I don't know. It made me feel sort of a bit not disappointed, but in the sense that all these people wanted to be a part of something, and there isn't a lot of other stuff that's going on.
Yeah, that's true. Especially in the Northeast.
Yeah, and although I was so pleased to have that amount of people respond, like there were people that had been to like drama school and stuff, and that had done proper professional screen work, and like there was one a younger girl who obviously there was no children in these shorts, but she's done TV adverts for different bits and pieces. She's
fucking accomplished already.
She's been on like Emmerdale or Coronation Street as one of the children in there.
Yeah.
And she's absolutely incredible.
She's already a pro.
And her mum contacted me and was like, we really like the idea of what you're doing. It sounds really interesting. She's really interested in it as well. So just to have the talent that we have in the area that, just wants to be involved in stuff is amazing. But it was also, I don't know, it felt strange that so many people Do you understand what I mean?
I do. It's almost like it felt strange to have this level of quality wanting to work on this. But at the same time, I think it sounds like you felt a little guilty. You didn't have places for all of them.
I suppose.
You have roles for all of them. That's what it's coming off like.
I did explain to them that we've got possibly 2 more shorts and then the pilot episode. And then obviously from there on, whatever happens. But yeah, it's been... It's encouraged me after this, if nothing, if the pilot doesn't come to anything or, whatever happens, it's encouraged me to know that all those people still want to be involved with either short films or stuff that I'm creating and things. So it's encouraged me to know that if I do want to create things in the future, people would be interested.
I'll be the first one to validate that because, look, your ideas are worth taking the time to go film. They're worth taking the time to go edit and put together to make these things. Yeah. There's plenty of people out there whose ideas aren't. And that's not a bash on anybody. It's just sometimes you create something and you go, damn, that was terrible. Oh shit, man, that fucking sucked. Yeah. Your ideas aren't bad. That I can't say it in now because I would ruin the whole fucking premise of what these movies are about, but I've read the scripts. I forget half the lines that I was in, but I know what happens. Yeah. And just to have this combination of the two worlds and how they kind of collide together. And to know what happens in positive transfer to what happens in lab cleaning, I'm like, fuck, man, fuck. It's intriguing, and if anything, it feels plausible. That was the one thing I really liked about it. I really liked the fact that when I was reading Lab Cleaners, I went, all of this is plausible. This is just based on the characters, which can I name the characters? Yeah. Yeah? Okay, yeah. So you got Bleach and Arthur, got Captain and Newbie. So for me, I've always kind of looked at it when I was reading the script. It's like, all right, so the Captain and Bleach and Arthur, they've been working together for God knows how many eons at this point. And poor fucking Newbie. This girl walking in, don't know what the guy, what the skivvy is, and I like that scene where they're all talking about it, about the gig and shit. But it just felt very lived in. It didn't feel like something that was a stretch. This felt like an organic crew of people. Yeah. It felt like a group of people you would see in real life. And I felt that was really good. I thought it was a good choice in your casting, not just for ability, but for look. The acting ability was good with all of them. Yeah. They're all way better actors than I am. They just are. They just are. But they all had a look to where you look at them and you go, these are people like I would see them in a car. I'd see them at a fucking Asda or a Walmart. Well, Asda here, Walmart where I'm from. Yeah. But you would see them.
It was one. I think we've discussed this, but when we were doing the characters and we got the script and things. And again, Andy wrote the script. I came up with the sort of the storyline and things like that, and he put my ideas to words and things into scripts. So it's his writing that's brought them to life, really.
Thank you, Andy.
But yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We love you.
I'm hoping to be back to help with some bits and pieces soon.
Please help us. We need your writing genius.
But originally I said to him about the certain characters, and originally Captain was supposed to be a
chick.
Yeah, a 40, 50-year-old woman.
Yeah, so how did...
Bleach was supposed to be a sort of a 30-ish-year-old woman as well, and then Arthur was supposed to be like 20 to 30s guy, and then Newbie was supposed to be a younger sort of female role as well.
So now I have to ask the question that I've been dying to know the answer to, now that I have you here, secured in my studio, tied down with pot noodles everywhere. How the fuck did I get the captain role? Like, how? Because I knew this was for a woman. That's why I didn't originally audition, because it was for a female. Yeah. So when you mentioned it to me, I went, yeah, I'll do it. But I'm like, but it's a chick, and I'm not a chick. Very clear. You know.
I made it sort of clear to Andy as well when he was writing the parts for it. I said that in terms of characters, I was as long as you had the feel to a character, and as long as we had those different dynamics, like you were mentioning.
Yes.
For me, as long as you had those different dynamics and the different relationships going on, I wasn't particularly bothered about sort of age of the characters to an extent. Obviously, the captain needed to be older to have that.
Oh, thank you.
More sort of experience and authority about him.
I'm an old fuck. Yes. That's what got me the part. No. I get that though. So it was more just as long as the actors auditioning gave the atmosphere of that character. They embodied that character to what you thought was needed.
Yeah.
That's what really sold it. On top of acting ability.
And we had quite a lot of women audition for various different roles, and it just sort of happened that looking at those pictures, and before we cast it and things, I got your 4 audition videos up on the screen. I had all 4 of them. I split up into quarters, and
I auditioned for everything, everybody.
I had all 4 of you just on my monitor, and I just sort of sat and watched the videos one by one. And for those little bits that crossed over, I watched those audition videos back to back, and the same for everyone else who auditioned as well. And for me, it was just a case of looking and seeing who seems to match up in terms of energy and like you said, in terms of who showed the type of character that I wanted to see more than anything. So your interpretation and your audition of Captain was what I'd imagined. Granted, you're not a 40, 50-year-old woman.
No.
But your authority and presence when you had that scene and the bit of dialogue that you sent back fit what I wanted to show, in the same way that Bleach, which was the character that Alex auditioned for.
Alex did great.
I believe he originally auditioned for Arthur, and then I asked him to audition for Bleach because I just thought, in terms of character wise, and he said the same thing. He was like, "Well, I didn't want to audition for Bleach because it was wrote as a female role." Yeah. But yeah, it was more a case of just who fit the roles, who seemed to give the right dynamics and the right vibe, and it just worked with you guys.
Alex gave off this when Alex was acting as Bleach. He gave off this impression that he's just like, I just gotta do my job. Just let me put on the fucking suit and clean this shit and not fuck up the transfers, and I'm cool. I get my paycheck. I'm good. Arthur, fucking Ian, man. He was Arthur at certain moments in the day.
It was great.
The personalities, his actual personality to the character he played was so close. There was a part where I couldn't distinguish the two, but they are different. They are different.
Yeah. And again, it was just when he auditioned for it, it was just a case of watching it and me going, like you said, it was a case of me looking and going, yeah, like that's Arthur.
I get that,
and the same for the same for the rest of you guys. Like everyone auditioned so well, which is what made it a lot harder to get the final cast together.
The cast you did get together, like I said, I was very complimentary to them during the set, but I could say this now here freely with you as well. Like, they're all really good actors. Yeah. I mean, they're really good. And in a lot of those scenes that we had together, there were times where it didn't even feel like going over dialogue. It felt like I was talking to them. And I think that's because the other actors like had their lines memorized and these types of things. Yeah. But it came off very natural. It looked and felt like this is a crew, outside of Newbie, of course, that have worked together, that do work together, that these are people who, the whole interaction between Arthur and the captain of this, and that wasn't even really originally written. That was developed naturally, just between Ian and I being friendly with each other and kind of subconsciously developing this playful banter that wasn't there, but it was there.
Yeah,
it's weird, man. Fucking acting, like, dude, scripts and interpretation is crazy.
It was great because it was. I mean, when we did the first read through, it was people
learning.
You know, well, yeah, people learning, people reading stuff and starting to explore the characters. But then
chain smoking on that fucking
seeing that jump from that to then when we came to do the filming and giving you a bit of time, like sort of strategically at the start of the day, just to mingle and to get you, to get your like introductions and people comfortable with each other, and it was so nice, like you said, just to see how you all interacted throughout the filming to make it feel and seem.
Everybody got close very quickly.
Yeah,
that was the best part. Yeah. I think it was probably one of the more okay. I think the reason the set was so relaxed in its atmosphere is because everybody, when it came time to film, when it came time to get things ready and to perform, we all did it to the best of our ability. So it was all goofy and playing around. But the second we had the film, we all just like, nope, okay, let's shoot it.
Yeah.
And then it went to like, okay, what do you need? How do you need us to do this? Do you want us to change? I remember, and I felt like I was fucking annoying you half the time with it, but I knew that it was important to ask you if you wanted us to do anything different. If you wanted us to walk a different way. And then there was like the thing with the formation and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm excited about it coming out. And not just lab cleaners. I'm talking about positive transfer, because I really want to see what you captured on that day and how it fits into the whole story, because I want to see all 4 of them when they're obviously fucking done.
Yeah.
But outside of that, we're about out of time right now. Is there a release date plan now for these? I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I know I just did. But is there at least a tentative soft release? You don't have to say one if there isn't one.
I was gonna say I don't really know. I also don't want to throw Joe under the bus by.
Let's throw him under the bus. Let's throw him
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be one of those things that we sort of take a bit of time to do, and obviously it being the first thing that I've produced as well, and us as a group. I just want to make sure it's right and it shows off the effort that we all put in. The behind the scenes stuff will be out maybe a month or so.
Okay.
And then the 2 shorts maybe looking at, I'll start July.
I'd say fall.
Yeah.
I'd say sometime in the fall.
Yeah. Start of October, maybe.
I'm betting it's going to be in the fall when we start seeing something.
Yeah.
The behind the scenes footage, yeah. I will be. Thank you, Amph. Appreciate you, bud. I'll be promoting the fuck out of that, because that's something that I really want people to see, because I think that captures. It's almost like a time capsule of what was really going on back there and how much people were enjoying the process of it.
Yeah.
And I really do think that's going to be reflective in the final cut.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. And I think it was so nice to have him there, doing that. And
he's a good kid.
He's really good.
He is.
And the rest of the cast and the crew were saying as well, when I mentioned about having a behind the scenes guy come in, they were like, "Oh, that's really cool," because not many places, especially sort of short films and stuff, have something like that.
No, they just have the recording, and then you're done. You go home or back to your hired gun status to where you're unemployed.
But and like you said, it's a nice thing to have as a memory for you to look back on.
Absolutely.
And I wanted that to be clear, and I also want it to be something that people can share and something that people can watch and realize exactly how much effort goes into something like this. Like
I think it was a great idea.
You've got the main 6 cast that you had. We've got our guest stars of my granddad Mike Arnott being in it, and
that's awesome, by the way. That's amazing.
And my sister, and obviously Paul that we do the songs and things for, and then all the people that behind the camera that people don't see or people don't realize that we're involved.
But the work they did
is unreal. Like we had. I counted before I came, and I think we had about 28, 29 people in total be involved with just these 2 shorts in the process.
That's a shitload of people.
It's crazy, and it's great that we've, I see it as a case that I've then brought 28, 29 people and creatives together to you know, to create something that,
Yeah.
you know, they can all look at and go, oh, you know, I helped with that bit, or I did that bit, or...
Chris said it during the last day of filming. We were rapping, and he said it was a short shoot, but I'm gonna remember this the rest of my life. And I firmly agree with him. Like, yeah, that was 4 days, 3 days for me, but I'm always gonna remember that. Yeah. I'm always gonna have fond memories of it, and I want every single person who worked on it, from production to hair and makeup to every single person to go on to bigger and better things. I want that for them. I want that for you as well, my man. Like, ever since I met you and the Zoom call all those months ago, I went, yeah, he's a good dude. Hell yeah. Let me put out my best effort for him. Let's make something. And I think everybody had the same mentality.
Yeah.
But outside of the Turned, what's next?
My youth theatre group that I help with, Crash Mall, we're doing a show next week. Everyone's talking about Jamie at the Northallerton Forum. So, you know, if you want to come along and have a little look at that, something incredibly different from
yes
from the short films. But again, it's them talented youths doing incredible things on stage, and then, you know, near future, I'll be casting for Ember Souls at some point in the near future. So
it's gonna be badass, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be badass, and you know, I'm gonna go for the gang leader. I'm so fucking stubborn on it. I already look like a gang member. How do I? If I don't get it, I swear I'll be so sad. I'll be so sad. I'll be like, oh, Joseph, come on, bro, just make me a gang member then. I'll just be part of the gang. Just let me die. Get me killed in the fucking movie. I'm cool. I want a death scene. It's good for the real. Joe, yeah. I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to come talk to me today, all right?
No, it's been great. It's been a great opportunity as well, just to thank everyone who's been involved.
Oh, yeah. They'll hear this. We'll share it out to them.
Oh, of course. I mean, especially my sister as well, who was there from the first day to the last day and helping with tidy up as well. It started off and she was like, oh, you know, I don't know how much I'll be able to make and things, but she was there constantly, either supporting or running around or helping people or opening doors with the key card or, you know, supporting me.
She was doing the most.
She was incredible. Yeah. And I've thanked her anyway, but, you know, and my family and friends as well for supporting and encouraging and, you know, being those ears that I've just been talking to constantly about ideas and filming and you know, but I want to thank everyone that's been involved in any possible way, because, you know, without all of you guys, it would just be me with an idea sat in my room. So
I get that. I get that.
So I'm very grateful to anyone who's been involved.
I think I could speak for everybody who worked on Lab Cleaners and Positive Transfer and the Turned in general. Can say, like, thank you for giving all of us the opportunity to help take your idea and make it something that's gonna appear. Yeah, it'll be out there. You know, now it's not just an idea. You sitting in your bedroom going, that's a plucky, fun idea. Now it's a thing. now it's something that you can actually put out there and say, hey, this is what I made. What do you think? Yeah, you put it out there into the cultural zeitgeist of film and entertainment. It's fucking beautiful. Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, I got to get Joe out of here, because if I don't, he's going to get hungry. People will ask questions. Police will come. This concludes your broadcast day with Phrasing with Jay. And thank you, Joe.
Thank you.